Your Imperial Highness, Hua Mulan.
Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 differences between Mulan 1998 and Mulan 2020.
Dishonor on you? Dishonor on your cow?
The more power I showed, the more I was crushed. Just like you.
For this list, we'll be looking at how the live-action remake of Mulan differs from its animated predecessor. In case you haven't seen either film, spoilers. Which version of Mulan do you prefer? Let us know in the comments.
Let's get down to business.
Number 10, a more mature tone. For a family film, the original Mulan had its fair share of heavy scenes. One such example is when the Imperial Army discovers a burned-down village, along with a little girl's doll and Shang's father's helmet.
The General.
Where the more mature content took place off-screen in the animated version, though, the remake isn't afraid to show soldiers getting riddled with arrows. The original also balanced out its intense moments with lighthearted comedic relief. While there is some humor sprinkled in, the remake is primarily played as a straight-up action drama. For its sequences of violence, Mulan received a PG-13 rating from the MPAA. To think, back in 1998, the Walt Disney Pictures label wouldn't dare venture beyond a PG rating. Number 9, the climax. The remake's climax does maintain several familiar elements. Once again, the Emperor is abducted during an invasion, and Mulan faces off against the big bad.
It looks like you're out of ideas.
Not quite.
At the same time, the filmmakers leave their own mark on the final act.
I believe Hua Mulan.
I believe Hua Mulan.
I believe Hua Mulan.
The Imperial Army not only heeds Mulan's warning of the forthcoming attack this time, but the commander asks her to lead the charge.
Protect the Emperor. Clear her path. Don't leave her side. She must get through.
Instead of disguising themselves as concubines to fool the enemy, Mulan's fellow soldiers put their armor to effective use for the final battle. The showdown between Mulan and the main villain no longer takes place atop the palace, although it'll still bring out your fear of heights. And since he's played by Jet Li, even the Emperor is given a pretty cool moment. Number 8, Mulan gets a sister. Grandmother Fa is one of the most underrated characters from Disney's animation library. But Mulan's quirky grandmother is nowhere to be found in the remake.
Woo! Sign me up for the next war.
In her place, Mulan is given a younger sister named Hua Xiu.
This is my sad face. This is my curious face. And now I'm confused.
Mulan was an only child in the original, but the filmmakers felt that having a sister would give her a stronger motivation and emotional investment. This also sticks closer to the Ballad of Mulan, where she has an older sister as well as a younger brother. Though this was a nice addition, we would have liked to have seen more scenes between Mulan and Hua Xiu in the film.
There is so much I have to ask you.
Since a Mulan sequel is reportedly in development, however, maybe she'll sign up for the next war, assuming she can overcome her arachnophobia. Number 7, Mulan doesn't cut her hair. In one of the original film's most memorable moments, Mulan takes her father's place in the army, riding off with his armor and sword in the dead of night. To blend in as a man, Mulan uses the sword to cut her hair short. Although this gesture symbolizes the sacrifice that Mulan is willing to make and her true reflection, it's not consistent with the film's setting and time period.
When will my reflection show who I am inside?
Producer Jason T. Reed explained in an interview, quote, Chinese warriors, male warriors, wore their hair long, so for her to cut her hair off, it would make her look more like a woman. Mulan thus keeps her hair long in the remake, but she still leaves her comb behind as a farewell to her family.
Who would do such a thing?
A conscription scroll. was Mulan.
Number 6. So Long, Shang.
How do you even begin to know how to talk to a woman, let alone be married to one?
Just talk to her like you're talking to me now.
One of the most notable characters missing from the remake is Captain Li Shang. His removal was in response to the Me Too movement, according to Reed, who stated, quote, "Having a commanding officer that is also the sexual love interest was very uncomfortable and we didn't think it was appropriate." The filmmakers didn't remove all traces of him, however.
The chi is powerful, Hua Jun. Why do you hide it?
Instead, he's broken up into 2 new characters. Commander Tang, who encourages Mulan not to conceal the strength within, and Chen Honghui, a fellow soldier who befriends her.
You still won't take my hand.
Honghui develops deeper feelings for Mulan throughout the film, but much like her relationship with Shang, their romance is understated compared to other Disney couples.
You fight good.
Oh. Thank you.
Number 5. Mulan the Martial Arts Prodigy. The animated version depicts Mulan as a strong-willed woman who's ready to fight for her family, despite having no combat training. Although she gets off to a rocky start, Mulan becomes a skilled warrior through perseverance and training. In the remake, Mulan is gifted in the martial arts from a young age. Where the original explored Mulan's internal and external struggles, the remake doubles down on the war within.
Your chi is strong, Mulan. But chi is for warriors, not daughters.
Upon joining the army, Mulan decides to repress her chi.
You idiot. Now everyone sees it. You must hide your chi.
Following a motivational pep talk with Commander Tang, Mulan begins to embrace her gifts. Instead of retrieving an arrow like in the animated version, Mulan proves herself when she ascends to the top of a hill while carrying heavy buckets of water. Number 4. Not a musical. Music played a significant role in the animated classic.
Who is that girl I see staring straight back at me?
Reflection poignantly explored Mulan's identity crisis, and I'll Make a Man Out of You still gets us pumped.
Tranquil as a forest, but on fire within. Once you find your center, you are sure to win.
Director Nikki Kaura wanted to take a more grounded approach for the remake, however, scrapping the musical numbers. Having characters burst into song probably wouldn't have matched the film's grittier tone, but Caro managed to pay homage to the first film's rousing soundtrack nonetheless. Instrumental versions can be briefly heard at a few pivotal moments. Some of the dialogue also calls back to a few familiar lyrics.
Tranquil as a forest, but on fire within.
For the closing credits, Christina Aguilera returned to cover a new version of Reflection, as well as a new song entitled Loyal, Brave, True. Number 3. New Villains.
Stop me. He invited me.
Remaining truer to the Ballad of Mulan, the Huns are swapped out with an invading Roran army in the remake. The villainous Shan Yu has been replaced with a Roran warrior named Bori Khan, played by Jason Scott Lee. This isn't Lee's first live-action Disney remake, as he previously portrayed Mowgli in 1994's The Jungle Book. Where Shan Yu was primarily driven by a lust for power, Bori Khan seeks to avenge his father, making his desire to conquer China all the more personal.
They tell me this palace is being built in honor of your father. And in honor of my father. This is where you will die.
Instead of a pet falcon, Bori Khan is aided by Xian Long, a shape-shifting witch played by Gong Li. Xian Long serves as a reflection of who Mulan could become if she went down a darker path, creating an intriguing parallel.
The more power I showed, the more I was crushed. Just like you. You saved them today. And still they turned on you.
Number 2. No Mushu. When it was announced that Mushu wouldn't be featured in the remake, the news was met with a polarizing response.
Dishonor on you? Dishonor on your cow?
On one hand, the character and Eddie Murphy's voiceover performance helped shape the original film's unique identity. Given the remake's more serious tone, however, we can see how a wisecracking dragon may seem out of place.
Oh, I think my bunny slippers just ran for cover. Come on, scare me, girl!
Plus, Mushu wasn't especially well received in China, or in Mulan 2.
Yeah, well, that was just phase 1 of my new 18-phase master plan.
In the 2020 version, the little dragon is substituted with a giant phoenix that guides Mulan, while also serving as a beacon of inspiration. Also absent is Mulan's other sidekick, Cricket, who switched out with a soldier named Cricket.
That is why my mother says I'm a good luck charm.
Thankfully, he lives up to his lucky namesake. Seriously, we must protect Cricket at all costs. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Mulan reveals herself. One of the biggest changes in Mulan's character arc comes during her first battle against the Ruran army.
Your deceit weakens you. It poisons your chi.
Following a confrontation with Shenlong, Mulan realizes that she can no longer hide her true self. Letting her hair down and shedding her heavy armor, Mulan's reflection finally shows who she is inside. This differs from the animated version, where Mulan is wounded in combat, leading to the discovery that she's a woman.
My name is Mulan. I did it to save my father.
Nevertheless, Mulan still fights valiantly and buries the enemy soldiers in an avalanche, securing the Imperial Army's victory. Rather than go back into hiding, Mulan emerges from the snowy mist in an epic reveal, ready to accept whatever comes next. It may be the remake's most visually interesting addition.
I'm Hua Mulan. Forgive me.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from Ms. Mojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.